Imagine, the year is 1971. You just bought the most beautiful farmhouse. You're so excited to move in when the previous owner comes up to you and says, whatever you do, do not turn off the lights. This is exactly what happened to the Perron family when they bought the Arnold estate in 1971. Unbeknownst to them at the time, this house would eventually go on to inspire the infamous horror movie, The Conjuring. How much of The Conjuring is actually true and how much of it was just Hollywood fiction? In today's video, we're going to go over the real story of The Conjuring. The Perron family moved into the Arnold estate from 1971 to 1980. The Perron family consisted of Nancy, April, Cindy, Christine, Andrea, Caroline, and Roger Perron. The Perron family really wanted to live in the country, however, they didn't really think it was possible until Caroline Perron found the Arnold estate listed in the newspaper. She went and saw the property without telling any of the family members, including her husband Roger. Loved it so much, she ended up emptying the bank account just to ensure that the property was theirs. Roger was furious about this, as I probably would be too. However, he fell in love with the house and they all decided they were actually going to move in. The first day they moved into the house, the old owner was actually still moving out. When he handed over the keys to Caroline, he told her he should never turn off any of the lights. Caroline and Roger thought this was weird, but they really didn't think too much of it. The house does have really thin, narrow, winding staircases since it is so old. It just wasn't built with some of the safeguards in mind that newer houses were, so they figured, you know what, we have small kids, he's probably just talking about so that the children don't fall down the stairs. Adults really didn't have any experiences early on. However, the first day they move in, all of the children experienced an apparition of a man standing in the kitchen. They didn't realize it at the time. They all thought this was an actual person in the kitchen until one by one they would all go up to their mother and ask her, who is that man in the kitchen? Each time she would be like, what are you talking about? There is no man standing in the kitchen. By the time their fifth daughter had asked them who is the man standing in the kitchen, they went to go investigate and there was nobody there. Not even the girls could see the apparition anymore. He had just disappeared. First hauntings started off really small. They were poked, they were prodded, things would go missing, things would get moved, they would hear noises. Caroline and Roger just chalked it up to being a really old house, and the children actually believed that it was haunted, but they believe it was actually haunted by benevolent spirits, good spirits. There was one ghost that they would encounter often. It would be a ghost of a woman. Said that she smelled really good. She smelled like flower and fruit. She would come to them when they were sleeping, and she would actually touch their hair, tuck them in, kiss them, really motherly energy. First, they weren't scared by this ghost because they actually thought it was their mother until they realized that it wasn't their mother. And after that, they still weren't scared because they realized that she was very caring and nurturing. Another benevolent spirit who only would play with April, the youngest of the girls at the time, was named Oliver Richardson. He was a little boy who actually died on the property. This character actually did make it into the movie. His name is Rory in the Conjuring movie. Unfortunately, the benevolent spirits did not last long. Soon, the negative energies would make themselves very well known. Doors started slamming, opening and shut by themselves. There'd be smells of rotting flesh that would go throughout the house. The beds would shake violently at night. The grandfather clock would stop at 5:15 in the morning. Caroline Perron started waking up with bruises. She couldn't figure out where they were coming from. She started feeling constantly watched. The family dog mysteriously died. The girls used to love playing hide and seek. One day they were playing their game of hide and seek and Cindy decided that she was going to hide in the basement. She found an old box down there. It was big enough for her to fit in. It had no latch on it. There was nothing to keep her locked into it, so she was like, this will be the perfect hiding space. My sisters will never find me. I'll win the game. She got into the box, closed the lid, and waited a little bit, and then she got bored and decided, you know what, I'm gonna get back out. The box would not open. She was pushing with all her might. She started screaming for help. Nobody could hear her. She said it felt like something or someone was holding the box lid down so that she could not escape. She was in there for so long that she said it got super hot. She started not being able to breathe. She seriously thought that she was going to die. Eventually, her sisters did end up finding her, and they easily just opened the box lid and saw how distressed Cindy was. This is just one story of many that the parents described of them playing hide and seek where things would go horribly wrong, unexplainably. It got so bad, their mom eventually forbid them from playing hide and seek. One day, Christine was doing dishes in the kitchen. There was a window that overlooked the property that you had to stand right in front of when you were doing the dishes. She was scrubbing the dishes when all of a sudden she heard the basement door open behind her. She said she felt a cold breeze coming up from the basement and she was really scared because why would this door open? This was one of the old doors with latches on it. You physically had to open the latch and then press the handle down in order for this door to open. So for it to open behind her when nobody was there was terrifying. She looked around, she didn't see anyone there, so she just closed the basement door and went back to doing the dishes. As she's doing the dishes, she all of a sudden feels a presence behind her. She looks up at the window and in the reflection of the window, she sees a woman standing behind her. She spins around, there's nobody there. To this day, Christine still can't explain what that was besides a spirit that came up from the basement and was standing behind her. Another incident reported by the Perrons Perron family was Andrea was upstairs doing her homework when all of a sudden she heard a baby crying. This was really odd to her. There was no babies in the family. This farmhouse was in the middle of nowhere. It's not like there was just a passerby with a baby that she would hear crying. She said the longer it went on, the more it sounded like the baby was wailing and screaming in pain. She went to investigate where the sounds of this baby was coming from, and she did not find anything. She eventually made her way into where the basement door was just to see the basement door was open. Andrea was home by herself at this time, so she was not going downstairs into the basement to investigate. She went to go walk away and go back upstairs to do her homework. She heard the basement door slam behind her. She was so freaked out that when her father came home, she told him, and he took it seriously enough that he went downstairs to go check what was up. He was down there checking, and he said he felt a caress on his shoulders. It was so real and so sensual that he figured, this has to be my wife, Carolyn. He turned expecting his wife to be right behind him, just to find that nobody was there. And this scared Roger. Between what his daughters were telling him, what his wife was telling him was happening, he knew he was touched down in that basement. He could not explain what happened. He was so scared that he ended up boarding up the basement with wood and nails. Nothing would be able to come in and out of that basement. Eventually, the girls would start hearing bangings in the wall, sounding like something was actually inside the walls trying to get out. They would start hearing whispers and disembodied voices whispering that there are 7 dead soldiers inside the wall. Over the years, things just kept escalating more and more. Caroline took the brunt of it. She kept getting attacked. She literally looked like she was aging rapidly right in front of her family's eyes. Parent daughter said that it looked like something was literally sucking the life out of her. That's how fast she was aging and her health was deteriorating. Andrea started having nightmares of her mother getting attacked. She could sense that her physical body was still in her bed. However, in the dream, she was standing in the corner of her parents' bedroom watching what was happening to her mother. Andrea describes this entity of wearing a gray-brown dress. She had no feet and she floated. The head was hanging off the neck like it had been snapped and left to hang. The face looked like a desecrated hornet's nest. Evil entity had very thin lips, according to Andrea, jagged yellow teeth. In the dream, she saw her mom screaming, crying for help, trying to wake up Roger, her father. It looked like he had been mauled by an animal. He was all cut up and all bloody. She said that the entity knew that she was there, and all of a sudden, Andrea woke up, snapped out of the dream. Next morning, she saw her mother drawing something. At this point in time, Andrea just thought it was a horrible dream. She didn't think any of this actually had happened. That's until she saw what her mother was drawing. It was the same exact evil entity that Andrea had just witnessed attacking her mother in that dream. She was so scared, so terrified for her mother. She asked her, "Did this really happen?" And her mother said, "Yes, you might have been dreaming, but that entity actually attacked me last night." There was just no rational explanation for this. How, if this was just a dream, was her mother drawing the same exact evil entity with its head bent and hanging off its neck and the jagged yellow teeth? How could she come up with the same exact thing that Andrea had seen in this dream? Caroline's health just kept declining more and more, and she really thought that she was being fed off of. Whatever this evil energy was, this feminine evil energy, it hated Caroline. Eventually, Caroline went to the library and did a lot of research on the property to figure out why was it haunted, why were they experiencing these things. She found that there had been a lot of deaths on the property, a lot of suicides on the property as well. This property had dated back to 1680, so there had been a lot of families that lived on the property, a lot of tragedies on the property. There had also been soldiers that had died on the property in the King James War. During this research period was also when Caroline found the records of Bathsheba. Bathsheba was a real woman who had lived at the property many years prior. She actually had children die in her care. It was around this time that the Warrens got involved. They were some of the only people at the time who were willing to actually listen to the Perrons and also try and help them. They came and investigated the house. Lorena ended up saying that she felt a malignant presence in the house. The name of that malignant presence was none other than Bathsheba. Caroline was dumbfounded. How did Lorraine pull this name out of thin air? She had seen these records of this woman named Bathsheba in the library, in the archive. She knew this was a real person, and now Lorraine is also picking up on the same name, which is not common whatsoever. This made her believe in the Warrens and want to follow their advice. Lorraine told them that they had the devil living in their house. She told them that they needed to do a seance so that they could get the evil out of their house. Roger and some of the girls were not happy about this. They did not want to perform a seance. However, Caroline and some of the other girls thought that this was the only way that they could get help. The Warrens ended up doing the seance. They brought a priest, a medium, and they also brought a camera crew to document the whole experience. The way the Perron family describes it, what happens next was something straight out of a horror movie. Medium Mary Pastorella decided that she was going to open the veil and call any and all spirits into the room and into the farmhouse. Parents report that the medium started speaking in tongues, and not even 2 minutes into the seance, things went really bad. The table allegedly lifted off the ground just to be slammed right back down. Caroline Perron started howling in pain. Caroline's body started contorting, so much so to the extent that the family thought that they would start hearing their mother's bones cracking. She started pleading and speaking in tongues. At this point, the Perron family describes that the medium actually had passed out on the table. The priest had reportedly broken the circle that they had, and he was quivering in the corner, frightened and in fear. Lorraine had stepped away from the table, not knowing what to do either. Caroline was still screaming and contorting in pain when all of a sudden, her chair allegedly floated up to be thrown into the other room. With the force of the throw, when she landed, her chair rocked back and she smacked her head against the ground so loud that the whole family thought they had just watched their mother die. When she didn't get back up, they thought the worst had happened. Roger started screaming, "You killed her." He actually ended up punching Ed Warren in the face and kicking all of them out as he went to his wife, expecting the worst had happened to her. Andrea Perron states that the people from the seance, including the Warrens, left the house that night not knowing whether or not her mother was dead. Caroline ended up being fine, although her health had taken a huge toll from everything that had happened. The Perron family ended up staying in that house a little bit longer, but everything continued to happen with the hauntings, and enough was enough. Around the year 1980, the family sold the house, and they ended up moving to Georgia. Even though they left the house for good, the damage was done. The family was split in half. Caroline Perron's health never recovered. Her and Roger ended up getting a divorce shortly later. Despite all the horrible things that had happened in the house, half of the family was upset that the house was sold, while the other half was so happy that they never had to set foot in the house ever again. So why didn't they leave sooner? And how much of the Conjuring film was actually based off of what happened, according to the Perron family? Andrea states that the Conjuring film was only 5% reality of what actually happened with the haunting. She actually claims that what the Perron family went through was worse than what they put on screen. What was true and pulled from the actual events was the hide and clap sequences. Although it was a little exaggerated, they didn't actually do the clapping method. However, when they would play hide and seek, they would be tormented. The little boy spirit of Rory was actually a real entity in the house. Like we said before, it was April's friend, whose name was actually Oliver Richardson. They did actually play together, and she used to hang out with him in some of the more crawl spaces part of the house. Bathsheba was a real entity in the house. She was a real person who was accused of murdering a baby. That being said, she was never actually committed of the crime. Even though the townsfolk did call her a witch after that, there doesn't seem to be much evidence of her actually doing witchcraft, because if they thought that she was actually doing witchcraft, they wouldn't have buried her body on hollowed ground and in a grave. The family dog did actually die of unknown causes. They still don't know why he died. Like I said before, they attribute it to the negative energy in the house. And the clocks actually did stop, but they stopped at 5:15, not 3 a.m. or whatever time they stopped in the movie. Caroline Perron was actually attacked multiple times by this entity, like the movie shows. However, the movie shows a different looking entity than the one that actually seemed to have attacked her, which I don't know why they did that, because if they had done a bent neck lady, that would have been so scary. That being said, even though the entity had been attacking Caroline throughout the whole time that the parents had lived at the farmhouse, Caroline and the parents believed that she wasn't actually possessed. They just think that she was the object of the most violent attacks. The only time they felt like an entity had actually reached Caroline and been in her body was during the seance. So back to the question, if the movie was actually less scary than the real life events, then why didn't this family leave sooner? According to Andrea Perron, who's been the most vocal about this, they really couldn't leave sooner. As I said in the beginning, they spent their whole life savings on this house. Caroline Perron had emptied the bank account. Back in these days, it was a severely taboo subject to speak of hauntings and ghosts and the paranormal. Andrea and Caroline Perron both said anytime they tried to reach out to neighbors or to anyone to ask about the house, ask about hauntings, they would be rejected, made fun of, humiliated, and just soon learned that they were not supposed to be asking these questions. So it was really hard for the family to be able to do anything or get help when they felt like they couldn't even talk about this. One reason they didn't leave sooner, which I thought was weird, that for all accounts and purposes, the parents actually loved this house. They had a weird attachment to it, even though there was negative energy there. As Andrea states in one of her many interviews, her books are called The House of Dark and Light for a reason, because even though the Conjuring story highlights most of the darker things that happened in the house, there was benevolent spirits and light that happened in this house as well. Andrea also now believes that it was her destiny and her family's destiny to go through what they went through. She believes that they were meant to experience this so that they could eventually share their story and help other people like them who might be struggling with the paranormal, struggling to find help or find community with what they're going through. It wasn't until 2007 that Andrea decided to write the book, even though they left the farmhouse in 1980. And coincidentally at the time, unbeknownst to her, the Warrens had actually been giving a speech in California when the producers had come up to them and asked them if they would be interested in working on the movie together. After that, the producers got in touch with Andrea and The Conjuring was made. What is happening to the Conjuring house now? Well, the house has changed ownership many times since the parents left in 1980. The most recent owners had actually been letting people go into the house and investigate. However, the house is actually now in foreclosure and is going to be sold off on Halloween of 2025 this year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Conjuring house this year, who buys it and what they decide to do with it. Unfortunately, because of the movie, Bathsheba's grave was desecrated. She no longer has a headstone, which is actually really sad. Parents don't know for sure if she was the evil entity in the house. They believe so many spirits were in and out of that house, and they don't think that she was the main evil entity. The main evil entity that they saw was a woman with a bent neck, which Bathsheba never had. Bathsheba was just the one that Hollywood decided to make the villain in the story, but Andrea Perron and the rest of the Perron family does not believe that she was the main evil entity in that house whatsoever. And even if she was, you don't desecrate graves. As for the Perron family, most of the parents now live out of the public eye. Andrea, who has written all the books about the house, there's 3 different books in total, she is one of the only ones who is still in the public eye. Any of the real Perron family stories that you look up are most likely done from an interview with Andrea Perron. Unfortunately, April Perron passed away in 2017. As for the rest, they are just living out their lives. So that concludes the real story of The Conjuring and what happened with the Perron family haunting in the Arnold estate. I'm excited to see what 2025 brings for the Conjuring house and who's gonna buy it, where it's gonna go from here. But now in this segment of the video, we are going to do our tarot card reading and also a spirit box session. I'm going to say that everything I say in this part of the video is all allegedly in my opinion. There are no facts here. There are just opinions. Let's get into it. All right, so I got my horror tarot all ready. I can't say that. Horror. Little disclaimer, 11 p.m. and my cats decide they like to play around this time. So if you hear anything, it's probably them. Let's see. All right, we're gonna start up the Spirit Talker. This is one of the only ones I use right now. I have a bunch of the other apps. Honestly, I should make a video trying out all the apps. That's what I should do because I'm not sure how good these work. This one is actually pretty good in my opinion. Got our first word. No, you're not allowed to drain anything. I'm good, thank you. Don't drain my batteries either because I need them. Also, I apologize. My mic is probably a lot lower in this section because I can't hold it and my table is this big. We're working with what we got here. Let's shuffle these cards.
He's coming.
No. Shut the fuck up. I'm saying that because I was literally about to say, what is haunting the Conjuring house? And it said, he's coming. Nope, you're not allowed. All right, so what is haunting the Conjuring house? I have like a couple questions I want to ask. I think I do want to ask about Bathsheba. See what is going to happen with the Conjuring house too. I like to do predictive divination. I might not be right, but we'll just see what we get. What is haunting the Conjuring house?
Stranger.
Interesting. I wonder if they see all the people who come in as strangers since there's so many in there. Oh my god, there's so much that came out. I said, what is haunting the Conjuring house and death? That is insane. Don't some people think it's a portal in there? That's why there's so many spirits? I don't know. I've never been, honestly. I'm hoping I can go eventually, but we'll see who buys it, I guess. Death. So I also asked what is haunting the Conjuring house, and it said 6 of Cups, which is the past, but also children. We do know that there is Oliver Richardson, who is in the Conjuring house. I'm sure there's other children too, since in 1680, back then kids died all the time, unfortunately, but it's the truth. So I'm sure he's just one of the only children that we know of at this point in time. Interesting, 2 of Wands in reverse, and then the 8 of Pentacles as well.
Died a long time ago.
Oh my god, that's so crazy. 1680 is a long time ago. It's before the United States was even a freaking country. That is insane. The 2 of, it was in reverse, but you know me for this specific one, is she looks like she's doing like a seance, which is exactly what happened. Huh. I want to clarify this death card and see what we get. Oh, no thank you.
Hold out your hand.
I'm good, you know. I think I'll be fine. I don't think we need a touch or anything. I think this is fine. We're good. Okay. Clarify this death though. So crazy. It's like haunting the Conjuring house and it just says death. Like death all over the property. That is insane. I am so fucking mad because the craziest things just happened and I thought I was recording and it freaking wasn't. So I was saying, because I was asking about the 7 dead soldiers in the wall. I don't know how far I got into this, but I was asking about the 7 dead soldiers in the wall and my recording stopped. That's so fucking weird. But so I was pulling, I got the 3 of Wands, I got the 8 of Pentacles, and I got the 3 of Pentacles. There's so many 3s, right? I also got the Wheel of Fortune.
Hide in my sleep.
Damn, that's crazy. So, I don't know if you can see this, but I was asking about the 7 dead soldiers in the wall. First of all, it gave me the name Kevin. I don't know if that's a name of one of them or not, or just like something randomly being spit out. But what is more interesting, and I wish that it was actually recording because my reaction was insane. No, you're not affecting me.
I'll affect you.
I don't know if you can see that. It says 3. When I was asking about the 7 dead soldiers in the wall, I kept saying, I was getting the vibe as I'm pulling my tarot cards that they're going to find 3 of the dead soldiers, their graves or their markings or their resting place, whatever it may be. They're going to find 3 of them. And it popped up 3 on the spirit box, which is insane because I kept getting 3s with the cards. There's 3 here, 3 wands, 3 here, 3 pentacles. And when I said that, 3 popped up on this. I am so mad that this was not recording. I am so mad that it stopped recording because that was insane. But I wanted to re-say what I said and show you guys because they're gonna find 3 graves or they're not. Either I'm wrong or I'm right, like it is. So it's like, I might as well tell you, but it literally said 3 when I was saying that. I was just like, I'm getting the vibe of 3. Can we keep talking? Yes, please.
Can we keep talking?
Yeah, yourself. Or can you say 3 again if they're gonna find 3 of you guys, like I thought? Because you told me before, I was saying they're gonna find 3 with the tarot cards, but then we weren't recording, so. But I appreciate you guys telling me. What I was saying before though, to summarize it, is that it's giving me the vibe that they're gonna find them further than they thought. It's a chance happening is what I'm getting. A chance happening, the Wheel of Fortune. This isn't something they're looking for. It's almost like fate or destiny, right time, right place type of thing. They don't do that to you guys. What in the heck? That's insane. Oh.
I'm touching your back.
No, thank you. Please keep your hands to yourself. Get out of there. Get out. Stop it. Bad kitty.
There was
The fire here. Like, we are in my apartment. Anyways, if you could stop touching my back, we'll get back to it. Do you feel like they're gonna be doing either like on the property somehow? There's some sort of like on property. I don't know why. When I was actually like earlier, I got maybe working on a parking lot of some sort. Don't ask. I'm just letting you know what I was feeling, what I was getting. It feels like they're going to find at least 3 of the 7 of the graves, tombs, markers, whatever it is. Somehow they're going to find 3 of the 7 of the soldiers. But I don't think it's where they expect it to be, and I don't think they're going to find it when they're actually looking for it. I think it's going to be with some sort of construction on the property or like, you don't need to do that. That's fine. We believe you're here. You don't need to throw things, especially in my apartment. Oh, you're going to throw something when they find you? Oh, if you want to do that. I won't be there. I don't care. I'm crazy. I also think it's going to be deeper into the forest with all of this, or like sort of woods. Like, I don't think it's going to be a cleared out part of the property that they'll find the soldiers on. I think it's going to be somewhere in the woods here because of all the tree symbolism that we have. Once again, Wheel of Fortune, it's just going to be like somebody's going to be doing something, right time, right place, and they're going to stumble across this. I know they've already stumbled across the graves of a different, I don't know, family or like a different burial plot, but I don't think it's the same one.
never.
But I don't think it's the same one that they'll find the soldiers in. I think it's going to be something similar or somewhere else. All right, anyways, now that we got that, even though I didn't get the freaking good part on camera, I also hope that they weren't tortured by rats and that's how they killed, because we got rat torture and I died in my sleep. So maybe one of them did die in their sleep, but I hope one of them wasn't tortured by rats and that's how they died. That's insane. That's sad, actually. Did they do that back then? I don't know. Is there anything else you guys want to say before I move on? The 7 dead soldiers, or at least the 3. If one of these soldiers' names is Kevin when they find them, I'm gonna be insane. Oh, I also didn't show you because I'm in
My 50s.
Okay. The soldiers might have been in his 50s when he died. I feel like, no offense to whoever this is, but I feel like that was kind of old back in those days to be a soldier, but maybe, I don't know, if he was like a captain or something, like, I don't know ranks in soldier terms. All right, never mind. You know what? Just don't mind me. You're not old. Oh my God, I'm gonna be freaking possessed for sure. I'm sorry. What I was saying before he said The
Living.
Yes, the living, please. Okay. I don't know how to find the words that are below this, but they did say that they were at peace. I can say, see, it says, we're good. Look, we're here. Where is it? Oh, we're all good. They did say that when I was talking to them earlier, and I'm still so freaking mad that I wasn't recording. But they also told me that they were at peace, so yeah. Soldiers, want to say anything else before I go? Well, I'm not leaving, but before I move on.
Am I dead?
Yeah, I think you are if you're talking to me on here. I'm sorry. All right, well, it was nice talking to you. If you want to add anything, I'm a mess. All right, well, it was nice talking to you. If you guys want to add anything while I figure some other stuff out, then go ahead. But we are going to move on, I think, to the next subject, which I believe I want to ask about the Conjuring house in the future. Let's see what we get. Do you guys know who's going to buy the Conjuring house or what's going to happen to it? Get predictions for the Conjuring house. What's happening next with it? Attached to the woods. This could be one of the soldiers because I'm very sure that they're going to be in the woods, or it could be speaking of a different spirit. Interesting. Who are you? What's happening with the Conjuring house in October? What's going to happen with it? Well, 7 of Cups. That means there's many different people trying to buy it, which makes sense. I definitely think there's a man who's going to put an offering on it. King of Cups. This man would most likely be a water sign. The King of Cups is, so their birthday is Pisces, Scorpio, or a Cancer. But interesting. I wonder if they're going to do it in secret. There's like a secret here with the moon. They don't want people to know it's them. Ace of Swords in reverse. I wonder if they tried to buy it in the past and they didn't. They didn't think it was worth it. Definitely think this man's going to put an offer on it. The fact that he is coming up specifically when I'm asking what's next for the Conjuring house, I mean, a lot of people are going to put offers on it with the 7 of Cups, obviously. But he's coming up specifically makes me think that he is more important than the other people. I wouldn't be surprised if it's because he's the one who ends up getting it. I wonder what the regret is. What does he regret? Can you clarify the Ace of Swords? It's gonna sound insane, but I'm wondering if the next person to buy it is gonna regret buying it. This sounds crazy, but it almost feels like the house is going to be picking the next person. Please tell me what's next for the Conjuring house. Like, they thinks they want it, but I think the house is picking them for a specific reason.
They found my body.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Like
Using this. Okay, we're talking. Appreciate you using this. Yeah, a lot of frustration here with whoever this is who's going to be buying it next. And I do think it's this man. The Queen of Wands keeps popping up too, so I'm wondering if it's probably a couple, a man and a woman. Maybe not a couple, maybe business partnership, I don't know. But a man and a woman, Queen of Wands, she would be a fire sign, so...
happened here.
What happened? She'd be a fire sign, so Sagittarius, Leo, or an Aries. We also have the Fool, so there's a brand new start coming for the Conjuring house. But what does that mean? 3 of Wands is expansion and growth, but mixed with the Tower makes me think that they're gonna... I hope they don't like part of it down or something. That's sad. Because the Tower is like Rider-Waite-Smith version. It would be actually falling down. You know what I mean?
Money.
What is this expansion and growth? I'm in the
trees.
Yeah, I think there is spirits in like the trees that they haven't found yet. I cannot decipher that for the life of me, if I'm gonna be honest with you, but it really feels like whoever this is going to buy it and they're kind of over their heads. They're gonna regret buying it. I think they're gonna fool. It's like a brand new start with the house. They're gonna try and make it into something that it hasn't been before, something that it's not. I think because I got the King of Wands in reverse, this might make some people angry with whoever buys the house next. 3 of Wands is expansion and
I'm
growth.
from the 1500s.
Oh wow. So whoever's in the trees or in the woods must be from before the house was even there, because the house was built in 1680. Who are you? Getting back to what I was saying with what's going to happen with the Conjuring house, or what allegedly, in my opinion, I'm getting from the tarot cards. It seems like however they're going to try and expand this isn't going to make people happy. All this is really sneakily buying it. And it makes me think of when the Annabelle house, that's what it's called, the Warren house, the Warren Occult Museum, got bought by those YouTubers. Here with whoever this is who's buying it, and they're buying it sneakily, and they're thinking that like gonna be everything they ever wanted. They're gonna regret buying it in the long run. 3 of Wands. They're trying to make it into something bigger than it is. Oh my god, would they be turning this into an Airbnb too? Did they already have it as an Airbnb before? Whatever it is, it's gonna make people mad. I'm not saying it's the same people who bought the Conjuring Museum or the Occult Museum. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying it's giving those vibes. But anyways, what I was like, oh my god, I can't believe it's saying the rumors are true, is because I was like, whoever this is being really sneaky about it. And then I was thinking about what was happening with the occult museum, and it says the rumors are true. So that makes me think that whatever it is that's happening. Are there rumors circling about who's gonna buy the Conjuring house next?
Sir.
Yeah, I think it's a man. It said sir. I definitely think it's a man. This is making me think this person's gonna be in the public eye for some reason. Allegedly, in my opinion, for entertainment purposes only. I guess we'll see in October or November. I would be surprised if this person... Look! Oh my god, I was saying they're gonna regret it. Look at that. They're gonna regret it. But it's weird because I feel like the house wants this person there in a way, even though what this person's gonna do in terms of like business model of the house and stuff like that, it's gonna make other people mad. For some reason, the house wants this person to buy it. Huh, I don't know. I'm interested to see who it is. Anyways, it's starting to get close to midnight and I don't want to be doing this too late, especially with the questions I'm about to ask about Bathsheba. So let's get into this last part and see. And sorry, my cats are acting up.
Be careful in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful with this next part. So let us see. I'm sweating. Do you see this? I'm so nervous. The fact that that person is being so secretive about buying the house makes me think that it's somebody in the public eye. Because why else? If it was just like a random person. I can't get, I'm just like, I'm stuck on that. Like, are they gonna try and build something else on the property? And that's what's gonna make people mad? It's so weird. They're like, make it bigger, expand and grow. Whether that's like, or they're gonna cut down like some property trees or something that make people, it's something like that. I did say they were gonna find the 3 dead soldiers when they weren't looking for it, when they were doing construction or work. It's giving those vibes.
You are smart.
Thanks. Somebody believes in me. I'm dead. All right. Last but not least, can you please tell me about the negative entity on the property? The one with the bent neck. Stop!
I lost one of my legs.
Oh, that bent neck lady was said to not have any feet. Maybe I'll ask about the basement instead of her directly. I'm scared she's gonna answer. Can you please tell me about the basement of the Conjuring house? Look at this. That is literally the devil. Oh my god. And it's spidery down there. No, I'm just kidding. Well, kind of. What's in the basement of the Conjuring house? This is something that doesn't like confrontation. Knight of Wands reverse is aggression. They'll be aggressive towards anything. And they also probably move a lot around the property. Page of Swords in reverse. This is something that does not like to communicate, does not like to talk. Also, you probably would not want to see this thing because the Page of Swords is like, you didn't want to see something you didn't want to learn. Can you tell me on here anything about what's in the basement? What is that creature? I already got the devil. They
Buried me here.
They buried you in the basement? What is it? I think it was once a woman. I do. Which would make sense with they buried me here. Queen of Wands is a woman. There's a lot of aggression though with all the fire energy over there. Interesting. So that makes me think that it might not be like demon per se, because if it once was an actual human, then it wouldn't be a demon. But I don't think it's
My family is here.
the original mistress of the property or the original wife of the property. I believe she was a Richardson. I don't remember her first name. She was said to have hung herself, which is why her neck would be bent the way it is. Why would she portray herself in such a negative light and be so scary to everybody? I don't know. It makes me think that this entity, even though the devil did come out, I don't think she's like a demon per se, because a demon's something that never walked the earth. Unless these are 2 separate entities, but I don't think so. It seems like the one entity was always the same. At least the evil one. Is Bathsheba Sherman the one who is one of the negative entities haunting the house? If you want to be honest, I don't think she is. I think she's just really, look at that. The 9 of Cups in reverse.
Stranger.
What I'm personally getting from this is I think this is a different entity. Whoever this is with the bent neck, this lady, I don't think it's Bathsheba Sherman whatsoever. Like, she's a real person. I would not be surprised if her spirit does go in and out, especially with all of the negative things being said about her and her grave being desecrated. I think she's just 9 of Cups in reverse. This is somebody who's just unhappy. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Literally, there's a graveyard and it's like reversed, like it got tore up. I just think she's unhappy about what's happened to her physical gravesite, to her resting place. Yeah, Ace of Cups in reverse is like something or someone being unfulfilled. I don't think she's a negative energy so much as somebody who is... I'm
Torture.
We were talking about the bent neck lady? Wait, what do you mean? When we're talking about the bent neck lady before? What do you mean? Is that what happened to this lady? Who I believe is the original female owner? I think one of the women Richardsons?
Loneliness.
Are you talking about how you supposedly died? Because I know how you supposedly died, if you are the person I'm thinking. How'd you die? I think this is 2 separate entities. I think Bathsheba, I just think she's not happy. I definitely don't think she's at peace with these cards because of, first of all, her grave being torn up, but second of all, just because of like what happened in her life, all the sadness and sorrow, and then having in her actual life being called, you know, and having people hate her in her actual living, breathing life, and now that she's dead, she's having all this happen too. So I definitely think she's an unhappy spirit. Whether or not she does like things in the house because of it, I don't know. I think it's more just because she is not happy in the way that she's being portrayed, not only in her life, but now in her afterlife, which I don't really blame her. I wouldn't either. That's kind of what I got from those cards when I asked about her. But I kind of go back to this bent neck lady because I think it's a different entity altogether. Can you tell me what you meant by neck torture? Because that's horrifying, especially with the lady literally being like, I shouldn't do that. But that's what she looked like. Like, children drew her. There was a daycare there, and the children drew her, and it's horrifying. Tell me more about the bent neck lady.
West.
What does that mean? How did the bent neck lady die?
Alice.
I wonder if that's her name. But how did you die? Something catastrophic happening that she wasn't expected. Justice in reverse. This isn't fair. Something that's not right. The Lovers in reverse. Could be a separation. Two Swords in reverse. She was forced to make a decision. He doesn't like visitors. Can you tell me anything else about this bent neck lady? What does she do in the house?
They keep secrets here.
I don't know. Alright, is there anything else you could tell me about this bent neck lady? So far, the most talkative have been the 7 dead soldiers. Or the 3 dead soldiers, at least. Whenever I ask about this lady, she doesn't answer. But it did say that they keep secrets here, so I'm wondering, and he doesn't like visitors, so I'm wondering if she just doesn't want to talk. Can you tell me what happened wrong during the seance that happened there? The one with the parents? Can you tell me what happened with the parents? Living. Yeah, but what happened during the seance? Ooh, this is interesting. I said what happened during the seance. 3 of Swords. That's sorrow and heartbreak. Ace of Wands, which is interesting because it said all the candles went out. But this is an opportunity. Page of Cups in reverse. Detachment and disappointment. What attacked Carolyn during the seance? Interesting. 2 of Pentacles. This is like a contract or agreement. Like that. But what attacked her during the seance? Page of Pentacles. This is something that saw an opportunity. I wonder if whatever attacked her during the seance has been...
running.
Yeah, we're running during the seance. They were running away. I was gonna say, with the bedroom image here, it makes me wonder if it's the same one that has been attacking her in her bedroom. I don't know if it's a new one at all. A new entity, if it's the same one. Guess it doesn't want to talk now.
Don't go.
That's so crazy. I was literally about to say I'm gonna go because it doesn't want to talk now and it's late. I have to. You're not talking about the seance or about the bent neck lady. Although I do appreciate you talking about the dead soldiers, even though we weren't recording. It's okay. That's insane. The most it's talked was about the dead soldiers, and I wasn't recording. Is there any last thing you'd want to say then? Because I kind of have to work tomorrow. You look tired. What were you doing? Oh, nothing. I'm crazy. I really got to get more equipment because it takes too long to find this out with this in the spirit box. My cat is attacking her food. Is there anything else you want to say then about the Conjuring house?
Took my last breath here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any last thing you want to say about the negative entity? It's just quiet now. It doesn't want to talk about it. Which is probably for the best. Any last thing you want to say about the 7 dead soldiers? Or the kid Rory? His name's not Rory. What's his name? Oliver? Anything else you want to say about the kid Oliver? Alright, it's getting late. I gotta go now. Well, it looks like when we try to get information about the negative energy or the seance, nothing really came out, which is unfortunate. However, that's all I can do for the night. Yeah, let me know down below if you guys would go check out the Conjuring house if whoever buys it next reopens it, because I would be so down to do that and I would be so down to do a video there. But you guys let me know. Do you think it's real? Do you think it's a hoax? Would you not go? Let me know down below. And as always, what do I say? Let me know down below. No, I didn't.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Always, if you have a paranormal story that you want me to cover and do a little spirit box session and a tarot card session, let me know down below and I can look into it and we can do that for you. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!